What? That was gonna take what, like a minute, 2 minutes? Could you
that
deal?
much damage.
That's what all flesh must be eaten needs, the Warhammer, like, critical table.
Oh
Shit.
god.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, and how about the fear checks as well? Nothing would ever get accomplished.
But the fear checks would actually have so much more meaning than they do now in all flesh must be eaten. It's terrible.
Roll willpower. Oh, you're insane.
Okay.
Yes. Trusty Tony manages to get back to sleep. And I suppose the cycle continues.
Potman's gonna have his watch.
Yep, Potman ends up taking his watch a little bit early.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. You can go ahead and roll a 1d10 plus perception plus notice plus danger sense.
They're coming back.
Cat just starts falling to corn.
If you would be so kind, Aaron. Well, let's see. Think that's good. It's
It's a good number.
16. That's 4 levels of success. This artistic endeavoring of noticing shit is rewarded by Potman being very confident that no one else is attempting to brave raiding the abandoned house, which as it turns out is no longer abandoned and actually has raiders inside of it.
Let's see, don't forget the dead bodies.
There are definitely
Those are gonna
corpses
smell in the morning.
They're starting to smell right now.
That's why they're outside, Tony.
They smelled when they came.
Toadie's saying this
doorway.
in his sleep. Those are gonna smell.
My suit. Yes, it ends up being about 8 in the morning. Then when Potman's watch is completed, it actually is getting, it's fairly bright outside at 8 in the morning. And everyone arises. Of course, you may regain a flat 2 life points.
Isn't it just flat Constitution, or is it flat 2?
Flat
2.
2.
Okay, that makes sense.
And
then
for your endurance and essence, I think enough time has passed that those are back to full as well.
Tony's not exactly so sure, but he just got cut.
Yeah. Definitely stings
It,
quite a bit.
it was a deep cut. It cut him right in the suit.
Yeah.
Cut you so bad, you can only say cut you so bad.
Exactly.
Man, you just cut right to the suit, man. Shit.
Tony doesn't understand the difference between physical pain and emotional pain. That cut him to his core. That really hurt his
What are you
feelings.
talking about? His suit is the core of his
I don't even want to sell
Like
you
I just said, it cut him to his core.
Yeah, I don't even want to sell you a fucking car now. Jesus.
No, you guys don't
I
understand.
wouldn't even sell you a
There
car.
actually wasn't that bad of a cut. Tony's just so distraught about the damage to his suit.
He would charge only twice sticker price.
Like I said, it hurt his feeling.
His one feeling.
Yo.
His salesmanship.
Right in the salesmanship.
Who knows if he'll ever recover?
Okay, let's find a car.
I gotta make a sale. I just don't feel
Does,
right.
does this house have a coffee maker?
Does it have power?
Coffee maker, yes. Electricity, no.
That one stray bullet actually went into the coffee maker.
Yes.
So this place has coffee.
It has coffee beans or grounds, I assume.
It has instant coffee possibilities.
Tony's gonna eat some of that.
Oh man, instant coffee.
Trusty Tony is so hardcore that he begins to consume instant coffee.
You saying he isn't?
What about everyone else?
I watch.
Potman's started up the habit of just sort of staring off into space when nobody's talking to him. The guilt's really getting to him.
I'd like to think I noticed that.
Sure. Kathlyn can definitely notice guilt.
Look, Eugene, the guy was gonna kill you. What?
What?
Yep.
Eugene killed someone. Good on you, man.
He obviously did not mean you well.
Mm-hmm. I did the right thing.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah, you get used to seeing the sight of another man's blood on your gun. I mean,
On your...
I like to imagine like Potman starts laughing there, like you said, oh my God.
nothing phases Tony.
No matter how much it should.
Fucking coffee.
There's just little granules of instant coffee stuck in the corners of his mouth.
Yes.
Stuck in the everywhere of his mouth.
And of course, there's definitely food here, canned goods, sort of preservatives, but it's not anything that's in a convenient way for you to eat. Sort of like with the water that you can, open the tap and pour into cups and bottles. It's, you'd have to do something with it. Of course, you don't have to do anything with it. You need chunky Campbell's soup right out of the can, just like you can drink water you got right from the tap.
It's made to be eaten straight out of the can.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's just not warm, but it's edible. It's pre-cooked.
It's definitely pre-cooked, yes.
Just warm it up with some anger.
That is not how that works. This is not an anime.
But what an anime
Definitely have
could
that
be.
in spades. One, we're not young enough.
Yeah.
Two, you guys need far more multicolored hair than what you got right now.
None of us are kawaii enough either.
What are you talking about? Tony is the most kawaii.
Come on, Tony and Potman, they're the kawaiiest.
You tried by being gun waifu a few chapters ago, but
that worked out for very little gain.
That's a 10mm.
like the stuff that she got and the stuff that you folks still got from that military base is still with you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, after Trusty Tony finishes his supercharging meal, and I assume you folks are going to attempt to find some way to warm the food, that is, or eat it right out of the can and enjoy it. Basically, to have a breakfast there that does not consume your rations.
Just go full raider. Use the corpses for heating. Light them on fire.
I don't think corpses burn that well without
You'd have to
another
start.
fuel source.
I think I'll skip that meal.
Not unless you dry them out first.
Potman knows this intimately.
The biochemistry, he just mentions offhandedly, unless you dry them first, otherwise it'd be silly.
Too much water otherwise.
I
Yeah.
tried growing leaves in it before, just the buds don't go.
Here, let me show you how to cut up human.
And this is how you hang one to dry.
He doesn't get horrified until halfway through. Wait, what am I doing? With that in mind, that leaves you folks fed for the morning, and you're free and clear of leaving the abandoned house back to its abandoned state.
We shall
Let's get the
re-abandon
fuck
it.
out of here. Nothing left for us here.
Yeah. Weird fucking jet sound. Anyway, since you would like to go hunting for a serviceable car, why don't those of you with scavenging give me a 1d10 plus perception plus scavenging?
Hey, I have those things.
Yes. As those without scavenging are basically watching over those of you who are looking for a car to make sure that more people do not come for you.
Potman's a filthy scavenger. Neither of those are metaphorical.
Did
Well-
Potman roll? Is the +4 from you?
I think that is his result, the 12 there. Is that right, Aaron?
That is correct.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Like I said, filthy scavenger.
Yep, that's 2 successes from him and 1 success with you. That combined 3 successes. That is sufficient enough to find a working automobile, a station wagon, as a matter of fact. It's a bit dented. Seen better days. One of the headlights is busted, but car still functions. It's got most of its tank of gas still left, about 85% full.
All right, kids, everyone load on in.
You know, that whole check engine served you soon light comes on. That's all bullshit. Trusty Tony's seen that so many fucking thousands of times. It doesn't mean anything. Just like hits the dashboard. Whatever.
Jeez,
He
no,
turns
no,
it
no.
on when he's buying a car from someone else.
Yep. He knows how those lies work.
Come on, everyone in the car.
He punches it hard enough that the warning light breaks, and then gives it the Trusty Tony's seal of approval. That's how you fix a car.
He knows the pressure point of every car ever made to turn off that light.
I actually knew someone who disabled the check engine light in their car. Like, they took apart the whole dash.
And then just lit with green text that says, Trusty.
I assume one of those letters is flickering, too.
Like, are you inspired? No, I'm Trusty. Right.
The one that's flickering is the exclamation point.
Okay. Station wagon get, and you folks can make your way out of the city of Carlisle and head on back on the Interstate 81.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Trusty Tony's gonna be the driver again, I imagine.
Yes.
Trusty
Dude,
Tony.
he did
Who
great
else is
job.
gonna do it?
Yep, Trusty Tony is the trustiest driver in all of Trustydom. That being said, there are certainly obstacles to beware on the road. As he sets out, there are definitely other vehicles, some of whom are piloted by people, some of whom are panicky, and Trusty Tony's not exactly sure how they'll react. There's definitely debris littering the roads too, wreckage, old vehicles that had bad things happen to them. Scuffles, fights, debris, all sorts of other things. But it's, bright light outside. Trusty Tony's got a lot of trusty action with driving a vehicle. And he can make a 1d10 plus dexterity plus driving plus 3 to navigate these obstacles as he makes his way out of Carlisle.
Yeah, so this is the scene. Trusty Tony's winds down the window because this car obviously doesn't have, electric windows.
Definitely does not.
He's gonna get a cigarette, light up, and turn the radio on to the only station that works, probably the country western station, and just blare it.
Yes.
And he's gonna go down the road.
It's not the gospel station. They just read the Bible all day.
The one where they're crying out that you need to repent for your salvation today. The
All
end
right.
is nigh.
There's one around here that does that.
Do you have any other flavor text on how you want to describe Trusty Tony's?
Yeah, he's just swerving in and around things. He's not even really he's not even, looking... It's mostly just instinct, just
He's
driving
not
around.
even looking.
He's got
Closes
one
his
arm.
eyes for a while. Takes a nap.
He's totally got one arm resting on the windowsill, and the other one is holding the cigarette between the fingers, so he's not even holding the wheel. He's just resting his arm on top of it.
He keeps looking back to converse with Potman, and keeps his eyes off the road for 10 seconds, and Potman's like, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
Oh shit! Trusty Tony is fucking amazing at driving, and
Maintaining a casual 80 miles an hour.
Casual 80 miles an hour. With
And,
this piece of shit station wagon, I'm surprised the thing can get to 60.
and very quickly, without, despite all of the obstacles on the road, it doesn't take fucking much time at all before he is out of Carlisle. And
Okay, no,
go
Just
ahead.
real quick, I'm picturing Trusty Tony, turning his face away from the road for quite a while to discuss at length how unsafe this car is.
He starts discussing all of its mechanical problems and integrity
Yeah,
issues.
this thing's a death trap. It'll go up in a fireball if we hit anything. He's still not looking at the road this whole time.
I would never put this on my lot.
Hold on, I dropped my cigarette as he leans down below the steering wheel.
Yep.
applies the back of his head to the steering wheel for a bit. I can't find fucking cigarette. Get over here. Shit. Fuck. There we go. No, where was I? So yeah, I would never put this vehicle on my lot, ever.
The suspension's bad.
Nervously tap the depth whistle.
Transmissions are broken on at least 35% of them.
It's not a lemon.
It's more like a lime.
Oh, it's an exploding one.
Yeah, but there's that one structural weakness in these cars.
Here, let me show you.
If you flip this thing over, it's likely to go over into a big ball of fire.
Yeah, you pull the steering column just so, and the brakes just completely turn off. Watch.
He does that and the wheel pops off instead.
You don't need that.
And with that in mind, I mean, that was so amazingly successful again. The trick is not slowed. In fact, it's as if that Trusty Tony is able to drive at what normal transition, commuting speed would be. As he pulls onto Interstate 81. Again, we have the big concrete divide there. Again, your lane isn't that crowded so much as the other one is, but there's still more vehicles. Especially as you've left that missile hole so far behind. However, that amazing success there, Trusty Tony's just continuing the trend of looking back and just fucking gabbing and talking, all the while managing to dodge everything else on the road.
We're making great time. All the other people that he's forced off the road or cut off to their doom, they're not doing so well.
No.
He just spins off to the side, flips a few times, and explodes.
It ends up being about 15 minutes later that you folks end up seeing the signs that would take you off of Interstate 81 to Shippensburg, which is a smaller community in southern Pennsylvania.
Home of Shippensburg University.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
One of the Pennsylvania state system of higher education.
Yeah, and you can definitely flit right on past that. It's roughly another 15 minutes after that you see the signs leading from off of I-81 to Chambersburg. Again, making exceptional Trusty Tony trustworthiness time.
Yep. The most...
Not even roughly a problem.
Trustworthiness time.
Yes, trustworthiness time.
That's how he measures distance.
Uh-huh.
Does that come up with a smile and a sparkle?
Of course.
You see, Trusty Tony's never really felt relaxed. Now with no, he's like, whatever, I can relax.
Relax.
And it ends up being...
car. I feel safe.
Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, thank you. Ends up being another, rough 10, 12 miles after that the signs end up showing for Green Castle. Again, just fucking trucking along, Trusty Tony is. And all the distance there, especially as he ends up getting closer, Interstate 81, running out of time in Pennsylvania, heading for that wonderful border between Pennsylvania and Maryland, with the regional airport not that far past it, and then Hagerstown itself, and holy fucking shit, it looks like the entire I-81 is just fucking suddenly coming to an end. There is a massive hole in the middle of it, as if a giant explosion just fucking and took out the fucking interstate so that no one could travel on it anymore.
How giant are
Did we just do a giant circle?
We're talking about, you're looking at maybe a 100-yard gap between the where the edge of your functioning I-81 is and where the start of the other edge of I-81 begins.
So I can't jump
Just jump it.
I can't. So I can't jump this.
Not a 100-yard gap. No, you would need some serious elevation.
You got this.
Tony's gonna be like, is there an off ramp back there I could get on Highway 11 and just take it? Pretty much follows 81.
You could definitely do that as well. Backing up, swerving around.
Back, going down the wrong lane on this interstate.
Just 50 miles an hour in reverse.
Yep. While he's still talking about the flaws of the vehicle.
Except now he's looking forward.
Yep. Here, you guys look back there for me if you want. Yeah.
Hold on a second. I gotta light
Yeah,
a cigarette.
that's right.
Yep. Gotta push in these fucking car lighters. Anyway, where's I? However, upon checking and actually taking the time to pull off onto Highway 11, it seems as if this road has suffered a similar fate. A massive fucking sort of explosion just fucking took out the pavement, making it so that you're going to have to find side roads and tracks to, or go off-roading with the station wagon.
So are we in Maryland?
You are in Pennsylvania.
We haven't.
Near the state line.
You have, yes. It's roughly a few miles from where you think the state line would be. And the major thoroughfare there, both the interstate as well as the highway, fucking just obliterated.
Seems like they were trying to stop traffic in one direction or the other. Which kind of makes me think they've given up on Pennsylvania.
I think we'll attempt to use backcountry roads to figure this out because Highway 11 is no go. There's got to be some There's got to be some backcountry roads.
Sure, you folks should certainly pull out a road atlas within the station wagon.
Because it has one for.
Yeah. And lean over and like scrutinize and like have like the fucking like massive map like scroll like over like stretching it out like in front of Trusty Tony's eyes while he's still driving. Where is it? I don't fucking know this area.
Well, it looks actually looking at a map, it looks like there is a county road 63 that
Sure.
It goes into Maryland. It goes to the west of Hagerstown.
You folks can certainly spend some time cruising about, finding some backcountry roads, rural roads. Not that these are in the best of shape. It can certainly be done. Why don't you give me another dexterity plus drive at a +3, Jordan?
Oh, this one's not as good.
Those successes, that's not that difficult to, swerve around any other obstacles. Oh, who would leave a fucking tractor just right there at the fucking intersection? Hold on. As I'm bouncing around the soybean field. You see, this car really doesn't have any sort of suspension.
It should be doing this.
Trusty Tony's basically able to do things that the car should not be able to do. Yet he manages to do them anyway, without penalty, seemingly. This is how he sells the lemons to people.
Takes them on crazy wild drives with the backcountry, doing horrible, horrible things.
And then refuses to unlock the doors until they sign the papers.
You want to go for another ride? Or do you want to sign this paperwork?
At any rate, it ends up taking a few hours, sort of staring at maps and finding backcountry roads and swerving around the obstacles. But as it is just approaching about 12:30 in the afternoon, you end up crossing over into the Maryland state line. Into Maryland, past the state line.
Yeah.
Are you still wanting to make your way towards Hagerstown?
That was the plan.
What time is it right now?
It's 12:30.
We could stop or we could make more time. Like, Hagerstown was the goal back when we had the last car. We could go further.
Well, I'm driving towards Hagerstown. You guys figure out something. You guys figure out where we're going to go.
Alright. Heading towards a major beacon of civilization.
That may have been attempted to be cut off from other areas.
Well, you can't hide from Trusty Tony.
You can't hide from Trusty Tony.
I'll make a deal with you, whether you want me to or not.
I will sell you something. In this life or the next.
Or the next.
Now, about this car.
The idea that it is not only his fate, but his afterlife fate to be a car salesman.
Or at least just a salesman, so long as he's selling a thing. Sure. Trusty Tony continues to cruise on through. The roads are littered, again, with varying sort of debris. nails or what have you. But Trusty Tony's very keen-eyed whenever he applies himself, and he has little difficulty swerving and avoiding such obstacles. It does become clear, however, that sort of off, like in the far distance of the horizon, or like 7, 8 miles, about the distance length you could see, get on one particular like flat stretch, looking in the direction of Hagerstown, that there is some darkness in the sky, off in the far distance of the horizon, looming and foreboding, sort of like an ashen color.
Kind of like
So
the
you're
town's
telling
on
me
fire.
Hagerstown's on fire?
Oh boy.
That would be the indication.
Huh.
And also, I have to point out the
around.
roads are littered with nails. What the hell?
Some stretches of nails, but various car wreckage.
I like to
various,
think kids are just going out there and throwing nails all over the roads of Maryland.
perhaps so. Anarchy, various people wreckage.
It's like oranges here in Florida.
Corpses here and there. All manners of debris. Anything that could basically be like from Oregon Trail that would just fuck you up and make you replace a wagon tongue. But Trusty Tony, he is all prepared for this shit. He knows what kind of dicks children can be. He knows they're bullshit.
I know they're bullshit.
Now, if
So I
only he
think-
could have done that in the first session.
Yeah, then we would
But it was dark, it was raining, not so well lit.
He was kind of high because Potman was hotboxing.
Anyway, that would be the situation. You're 7 miles out from even the Hagerstown city limits, and you can just see the dark looming.
Well,
The
let's
sky.
not drive into Silent Hill.
So my
I've
question
heard a siren.
remains: do we get back on 81 driving through? Do we want to go for DC because it looks like the situation's actually getting worse the further we get away?
We could take 70 around Hagerstown.
And then
Towards
continue towards
DC.
DC. And then hit up to saying, okay, we'll
I'm
do that.
still on board with looking and seeing if we can accomplish anything there.
All right.
That's 2 people who want to head towards Washington, D.C. still, perhaps by catching another interstate and then shooting around the southern part of Hagerstown.
Does Cat
I'm
still
sleeping
want
in the back.
revenge?
Mm,
For all we know, Knight
mean-
could be down there.
sure. Yeah, fuck the guy. It is getting. Oh man. If that city's a sign of what we're running into, I really couldn't say that that's really a smart way to go, though.
Well, I mean, where we were at before was like the immediate exposure zone where everybody's just trying to get away. Now we're actually far enough away from it that people are feeling like they can do whatever they want because the threat isn't immediately upon them yet. It's going to be really bad here, but as we get further away, it should taper off.
Like people in Florida, what do they care? Not a problem.
Right.
Covered in oranges.
Just a lie. Fucking democratic lies. That's all it is.
It's the end of orange season, man. We're just sitting happy.
The end of orange season.
If Ronald Reagan were still in office, we wouldn't have any trouble. These hooligans or whatever causing trouble on the streets.
Flesh-eating hooligans.
They're just misunderstood.
That's right.
I
So
blame
wait,
public schools.
they had Ronald Reagan as a president, but Cliff Benton?
Well, they swapped the R's in Ronald Reagan, so
Yeah.
It's a different I can see how Ronald Reagan could be confused with Ronald Reagan, but
It's all in the
When you really look
emphasis.
at it, it's not the same.
Yeah, the inflection of the letters.
Oh yeah, Ronald Reagan versus Ronald Reagan.
it's spelled R-A-U-N, Ronald.
Ah,
Oh, that was bad.
good.
The whole thing wasn't.
You could have made it worse by
As
having
if
an
you've never
R-A-Y.
said anything
G.
grown worthy before, Aaron, ever. At any rate, you
I mean,
folks-
that's a valid point.
Thought so. Folks can definitely take the extra time, making sure to stay as far away from Hagerstown as you can, keeping the glooming darkness. Glooming darkness, glooming? Yes, glooming darkness. I like it. We're sticking with it. The glooming darkness on the horizon as you sort of move past on the far outskirts, and yeah, with all of that darkness there and like bits of light even in the brightness, it would seem that rioting or looting or whatever the hell has happened, maybe an experiment gone wrong, not nuclear, but just like explosion or what have you. Fucking the city is burning.
The looming, glooming, dooming darkness.
Yes. And
The
fire.
dark gloam looming and glooming.
Yes.
Exactly.
As a Smog himself set the thing ablaze.
Well, that just broke the fourth wall.
Yeah. Yeah, that broke the fourth wall. Nothing else up to this point.
You're talking about movies that haven't even come out yet. I mean, come on.
I'm not talking about a movie.
You mean they wrote a book about that movie?
You asshole.
It was a prequel. Yes. Ends up taking some time. Trusty Tony is not as familiar with these roads. You're basically relying on the Atlas as well as staying on the interstate when you can. But certainly you can eventually hook up with Interstate 70. The traffic and roads are pretty bad, particularly around this stretch still. And travel is very slow. It seems like a lot of people are trying to... it's like one grand exodus of people perhaps fleeing the burning city more so than anything else right now. And it is a tedious, slow crawl compared to the fantastic pace that Trusty Tony was making before he got into Maryland.
I am sad now.
I was saying there's no military checkpoints to completely fucking derail you. There's no explosions which have rocked the roads. There's, mercifully enough, no traffic jam that is so fucking that you end up getting stuck in and are unable to escape. Moments like those definitely do happen on the roads, but in every instance, Trusty Tony has an out through an exit, or maybe the interstate's not that elevated off of the ground and he can make a transition. This bounces. See, these shocks are terrible.
Watch while I hit this median. Do you feel that jolt in your teeth? That's how you know.
It's no wonder he sells lemons. He takes all the cars out for this before he puts them on the lot.
They come in perfect condition, but by the time he sells them, nobody is happy.
That's how they get the Trusty seal.
Mm-hmm.